Housing prices worldwide are rising the most since before the global financial crisis, following a market turmoil seen all around the globe during the pandemic. The value on properties have increased in lockdowns, and homeowners have reflected on where and how they want to live, prompting many to relocate or purchase a second home. The countries mentioned in this video are ranked according to Knight Frank's Global House Price Index, which is measured by the movement in mainstream residential prices across 60 countries and territories using official data from national statistics offices and central banks. Another reason for the rise in prices is high demand from foreign nationals, mostly Americans and Canadians, and to a lesser extent from Europeans. So here are 10 countries with highest property price increase in 2021. Number 10, Canada. From foreign buyers devouring properties sight unseen to young families trying to raise kids in condo towers, the Canadian housing market is a hot topic of discussion. House prices in Canada are rising at their fastest rate in nearly 3 years. Last year, its house price index growth was around 5.8%. Well, this year it is about 11%. According to the Canadian Real Estate Association, the median residential home price in Canada is currently at $385,000, an amount that changes from region to region. Prices are higher in Canada's big cities than they are in the surrounding towns and rural areas. Its highest house prices are found on the west coast in British Columbia, where the country's mildest weather is found. While severe winter weather or remoteness from major markets usually results in low-value prices. Number 9, Russia. The pandemic and the fall of its currency, ruble, is the reason behind an increased property price in Russia. Buyers wanted to invest in their housing before the currency depreciation, which was also facilitated by the decline in mortgage rates. At the same time, purchases of foreign real estate by Russians fell sharply as a result of the closed borders. Due to this increased demand, housing prices have increased significantly in its major cities. The growth in Moscow itself turned out to be a little less, by 19%, while in the lesser developed areas, property prices remain the same. Overall, its Knight Frank's latest house price index is around 11.1%, which is all-time high. Number 8, Netherlands. House prices in the Netherlands have risen significantly in the last few years. Prices skyrocketed in 2021, especially in Amsterdam and The Hague, and are likely to keep rising. This is partially due to the housing shortage affecting the main cities. Therefore, for the first time, experts started talking about an imminent decline in prices. Currently, its Knight Frank's latest house price index is around 11.3% and is expected to rise in the upcoming years. On the flip side, 71% of the Dutch population are homeowners. For comparison purposes, this figure is significantly higher than France or neighboring Germany. Number 7, Austria. Despite a global pandemic and lockdown restrictions, Austria's property market still performed well from 2020 to 2021, with prices and demand rising. Moreover, experts are predicting another strong year for the property market, even with the ongoing uncertainty due to the pandemic. Its Knight Frank's Global House Price Index this year is around 12.3%. Generally, real estate in Austria is considered affordable compared to other parts of Europe. This is particularly true in Vienna when compared to Munich or Zurich. Typically, the real estate market is stable, with moderate yet steady yields and low interest rates. But then again, property prices in Vienna, Austria's capital, rose by 15%, and overall its prices have seen a steady rise over the last decade. Number 6, Sweden. Sweden's housing market has been a headache for authorities for decades. The population has increased rapidly, especially in cities like the capital, Stockholm, and construction has failed to keep up. In the past 10 years, house prices in Sweden have increased substantially more than its neighboring countries, and experts have predicted that prices will continue to rise in the upcoming years. Construction costs have also increased by 50% relative to consumer prices, while most similar countries have seen an increase of between 10 and 20%. House prices have increased the most in central locations in metropolitan areas where demand is high and supply is typically constrained by the availability of land for new development. Its Knight Frank's global house price index is 13%, which is expected to increase next year. Number 5. USA. Buying property in USA has become more expensive than ever. Home prices have increased significantly. The median home listing price in the U.S. is nearly $270,000 according to Zillow, but that varies by state. Furthermore, the pandemic has encouraged city dwellers to move to the suburbs and families looking for home offices and bigger yards. Home prices surged up 13.2% from the year prior. On the downside, typical household incomes and wages in the United States have not increased as much as property prices. According to a report by the Pew Research Center, each year wages increase by only 2 to 3%. Because of this discrepancy, many Americans have been unable to purchase a home in recent years. It is also fascinating to notice how regional domestic prices have risen at various rates. For example, in the northeast of the USA, the highest increase in the average cost of a single-family home is noticeable, while in the South and Midwest regions, the slightest increase has been observed. Number 4. Slovakia. The pandemic has had little impact on the real estate market in Slovakia. The rise in prices has been observed for several years, and experts predict that it will continue. The most active price increases were observed in its capital city, Bratislava. In general, its property market is one of the cheapest in Europe for foreigners, but for the local residents who earn moderate wages, it's almost unaffordable. An average two-bedroom home price in its capital city, Bratislava, is around $250,000, and its Knight Frank's latest house price index is around 15%. Number 3. Luxembourg. Guessing at the reasons for Luxembourg's expensive housing is a popular pastime. It lacks housing, lacks building plots, the supply and demand aren't balanced, and there is too much speculation. One of the main reasons behind this can be found in the country's exceptional population growth. Because housing is in such high demand, this small country is having trouble increasing the housing supply by the same proportions. Its house price growth index is around 17% and is expected to rise in the upcoming years. Number 2. New Zealand. The New Zealand property market is currently on fire thanks to the pandemic and low interest rates. It's now cheaper to buy property in London or San Francisco than Auckland. Homes cost an average of 5 times people's median income in Auckland, and only Hong Kong, Vancouver, and Sydney are more expensive. Furthermore, the number of houses on the market in New Zealand are at an all-time low, and developers are rushing to push through new projects to meet demand. Its Knight Frank's latest house price index is around 22%. Number 1. Turkey. Turkey topped the index for the second consecutive year. It experienced a 32% hike in its residential property prices, despite the fact that its property prices are the cheapest when compared to other countries in this video. This extreme price hike is all due to the Turkish lira dropping its value and foreign buyers parching more than 15,000 houses in the first 5-month period of 2021. Furthermore, its government announced a reduction in mortgage rates, so local residents also became interested in real estate investments. Moreover, its capital, Ankara, and the Aegean province of Izmir racked up 10,000 total home sales to foreigners in 2020. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more amazing content.